Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and anybody that's new, welcome. My name's Debbie, I'm the Crafty Shopper. Today we are going to do some Jenga block graduation ideas, crafts, builds. We're going to start off with the Jenga blocks, aka tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. The newer versions come in the brown box. The blue box is the older one. You can find them in the kids section. You can also order them online at dollartree.com if you're in the US. You can order them to your store, different, I guess, areas. You can order it for free, get shipped to your store for free, the local store near you. And some say that you have to order 3. Some says you have to order a case, and some say it's not allowed. Sign up for dollartree.com newsletter, and they do send out 30% off coupon every once in a while. One came out the other day for 50% off shipping to your home. I like to use Wellbond. You can buy it at Rona, Hobby Lobby, Lowe's, Michael's, Amazon. There's lots of places. This is just my preference of glue. You can use any wood glue. Dollar Tree does sell wood glue that you can use. I do not suggest using at all hot glue. It doesn't seal the blocks properly, and eventually it will fall apart. We are going to be using the L-shape, I call it L-shape, Carpenter square ruler. I use this when I am gluing my blocks together. I'm just going to grab some blocks here. When I say flat, meaning when you glue your blocks like this, we're just gluing it on the side, and that's what I mean by flat. Just like that. Now, if I say stacked, meaning we're gluing the blocks on the wider part. When you're using the ruler, I suggest this is a must-have working with blocks. Just keeps your blocks, keeps your blocks nice and straight as you glue. I do pre-glue my sections together. For example, if I did glue that, I would just move it up like that and continue, and I kind of move around my mat off camera. And I do allow appropriate drying time. Sometimes they do shift a little bit, so that's why I always say read the back of your bottle, just to make sure. Usually with this glue, it takes about an hour. Just depends on the size, how many blocks you're gluing together. I like to leave them a little bit longer, and sometimes I leave bigger builds if they're glued flat overnight. So we're going to start with a Jenga block cap glass. Now this glass can be used for Mother's Day, which is coming up, so you can totally use it for graduation or Mother's Day, or you can do both. We're going to start with the top. We're going to work our way from the top to the bottom, and the first row is 10, and this is stacked. Now we are going to do 6 rows of 10. So that's the second row, same number, 10. Third row of 10. Fourth row of 10. Fifth row of 10. And sixth row of 10. And as I show you them just like this, you can glue them. Once you have all your pieces together, you can glue them as we go along. The next row is 5, and that's flat. Next row is 4, and it's flat. Now you're going to need 11 rows of 2s, so 11 like this. Actually, I think it's one less. I'm going to count because I switched up a few blocks. So let me see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So you only need the 10 and not the 11, like I said. So we do 10. You just glue them as we go along. Now we're going to do the bottom, the base of it. And we are going to do, and they're all flat, we're going to do 3 flat. We're going to center it. 4 flat. 5 flat. And 6 flat. And we're just going to glue it all together just like that. Now that I left it to dry, I'm going to, you can leave as is and you can paint. The only thing I suggest using to do is, if you have any glue, I do have a little bit of glue that seep through there, is you can use little, these is a coarse nail file from Dollar Tree. I'm going to take it a little bit step further and I'm going to do some filing on it. I'm going to leave the top part of the rim, especially with the graduation. I'm just going to leave it because we are going to add a piece on top, but I am going to file down the sides and the corners just all the way around. Now, if you have a Dremel drill, that's what I do, just because I have lots of block builds that I do, and it's just much easier is just using my drill. And I just go off the little corners. And it just takes the sharp little edges off, and I'm going to do that all the way around except the top lip of the glass. All right, now the next thing we are going to do, and this is totally optional. I like it just because it makes the surfaces more smooth, just because you know the Jenga blocks are not all fully squared off, and sometimes you have in grooves. And when you paint it, you will notice it more visible than others. I just buy the spackling. Now I heard DT does carry spackle, and I believe it would be the hardware section. It's pink, but it does dry white when it's fully dry. And I'm just gonna put it right over and spread it on, just kind of like butter. And it also helps not only when there's uneven surfaces, but if there's little cracks and little holes in between the blocks, it helps seal those nicely. When you put it on, it doesn't have to be perfect, because it's just like you can go over with a buffer or a sander. I just use like little nail file blocks that you can use, and Dollar Tree, I don't have it beside me right now, has the big square black sanding buffer that you can, or you can use sandpaper, just make sure it's not very coarse. Now I'm just going to finish this off camera. I'm just going to do the front and back with it. And then the next thing I'm going to do, just to round off the sides right here and these little steps here. Now this, when you do make the little, when you do add the spackle to little deeper sections like right here, the only thing is the drying time will take longer. Even though it looks like it's white on the outside, it still will be pink on the inside. I usually just stick it in a window with sun to help it dry a little faster. And I just stick it in there and I like using this knife. You can use like a spatula knife. They come with the putty knives. I just like using this knife. Even if it's not perfect, guys, it does dry and you can sand it right off. I think I tried this for my Jenga block. First time I tried it was Jenga block barn shelf. And I just really liked it, and also play around with the design of it. And it just helps everything seal a lot nicer. And then I'm just going to do the second part here. And just like that. And then I'm going to do the exact same step on the other side. And even if it will look messy, but you can just file it right off when you're done. I am just going to do it to the other one, and like I said, on the bottom of the stem. So now that I let it dry, as you can see, I didn't put anything on the steps here. I thought it just gives it a better look than straight being totally angled, I guess, down, and I just like the steps of it. So you're just going to take a nail file or a buffer, and then you're just going to start buffing it. It does get really dusty, so you might want to put a mask and just be mindful where you do it, so it does get a little bit dusty. All right, now that we have it all sanded, I am just going to use some black DT paint and give it probably about 2 good coats all around. Now that I have it all painted black, now you can leave as is. I want to have a little bit more sparkle to it. So I'm just going to paint some Mod Podge on, the gloss one, and put some black sparkles. Now these ones are just from Michael's, just my DT doesn't carry them, only in a little packet. So I'm going to use this one. I would suggest not doing the top because we still got to put the hat on, so just so it stays flush. So just omit the top part and obviously the bottom part. All right, well, the glass part is drying with the Mod Podge and glitter. We are going to work on the top part, the cap for the top of the glass. Now we're going to start with 3 flat. And you're going to need 9 rows of the 3 flat. So you got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this will be 27. The glass, with the glass, is a total of 125 total blocks we will need. The glass was 98. This was 27. So 125. And what we're going to do is just make sure that any glue that you see is just file it out. I am just going to use some spackle, and I'm only going to do it on the one side, the top part facing up on top of the glass. I'm going to add some spackle just to fill in the cracks so we get it nice and smooth. We are not going to do any filing. We're just going to leave as is. And I'm just going to do black. I am not going to do the glitter on the top. I'm just going to leave the glitter for the glass, and so it looks like a separate piece when you have it on top. All right, as you can see, I didn't put any of the glitter on top. I kept it just flat without it on. Came out pretty good. Now we're gonna put, I got these from DT, and it's just, I wanna do the word grad and 2024. My son's graduating grade 12 this year. And the only thing is on the G, I'm going to take something probably off the Z that I'll never use. It's just an extra little diamond because I want to put more of a T-top on the G as opposed to just straight. I don't know why it looks more, will look better more of a G like that. So I am just going to do grad and 2024 underneath. I think I'm just going to give it a string of gold. And play around off camera, and these are also from DT. It's just the string of gold kind of pearls. Right, we're gonna go back to the top of the hat. As you can see, I have some sparkles all over me. I got them on my fingers. What an unfinished without the spackle. It just shows you the more of the grain in it. I just did one good coat on the bottom because it's going to be underneath. You're not really going to see. And this is the part with the spackle, which is a lot smoother. I do want to seal it. I am just going to use the matte Mod Podge to seal the top. All right, now that we have that done, the next step we are going to do is the top. When we place it on the top, we're going to put one pointed corner in front, and I'm gonna shift it more a little bit to the back, just that it's not too much over the front. On the top, we are gonna add these glass gems. You can get them from Dollar Tree. I spray painted one black already for the top. Now for the tassel, you can actually, I haven't seen them in my store because they don't have the graduation stuff out yet, but Dollar Tree, if you look on their website, they do have graduation tassels, but they're keychains, and I think they would be perfect. And I was waiting for that. That's why it's taking me long to do this, but our store has never got them. But then again, we haven't got them in the store. Now, I went to my fabric store, Fabricland, if you're in Canada, and they have these tassels, and I'm sure they're for purses. I'm not sure what they had them, but I thought it would be perfect enough, just good enough for this project. Now, I did take the little top part hook off to have the silver part, but because I put gold on there, I just took some Mod Podge and just painted it on and sprinkled some gold on there to get the gold effect. And the top part here, since it didn't come with that, you can find these at DT. They had the little black strings, and I think this is like for braiding bracelets. So I took the black part and just tied it on. I'm gonna have this hang over, and I'm gonna try to hide that spot. I don't know why there's a hole there. And I'm just gonna hot glue that on with the little gem on top, and then glue it on with Well Bond onto the top of the glass. Okay, we're gonna do second build now. While I have the top drying on the glass, we're gonna start with the second one. So these are just DT boxes. They're gift boxes that just came in, and they were for Mother's Day. We're just gonna take the top off this. I'm probably gonna have to use the heat gun or blow dryer to get that foam off because I don't want that top part on. And I'm just gonna show you underneath. Little sticky foams, and if you use your heat gun or a hot blow dryer, it'll be easily to get these little foam things off. Now we're gonna do partial Jenga, partial box. The box diameter is almost 2.5, and the reason I'm gonna tell you that is because of the size of block we're gonna put on top of it. And we're just gonna make a graduation cap that you can put a gift inside, but also looks like a graduation cap. I'm gonna take the foam off, and then I am going to paint it with some Dollar Tree black paint. Not gonna paint the inside, I'm just gonna paint along the sides, the top, and all around. Now we have it painted. I just did the lip on the inside of the bottom. And I also, when I was painting, I did the inside of here as well. Now I'm gonna put some matte Mod Podge as opposed to the gloss, because the matte one, even though it's not matte, it still gives it a little bit of shine. But I'm gonna do all the way, I even did the bottom, and I'm gonna do the bottom too with a coat inside and both sides with the matte one. All right, so now we're going to do the cap on top. Now with the box, it's very important that you just don't paint it and don't put any Mod Podge on it. The only reason with Mod Podge is the best thing is it's nice and slippery. I guess if you want to say it's nice and it's very smooth. So when you put the top on, it won't take the paint off. If you don't Mod Podge it, your paint's gonna chip off. Now we're gonna do a cap on top. Now for the Jenga block part, we're gonna do a row of flat of 11, and we're gonna have 4 rows. So the total is 44, and we're going to, so that's 44 blocks for this build for the cap box. It's very important that when I told you at the beginning of the video, because if you get a smaller box, you're gonna need lower blocks. So this one's just almost very close to 5.5 inches in diameter. They do look similar if you're looking on the shelf, but this one, the diameter's almost 5 inches. Now, if you do find the one that's almost 5 inches, I'm gonna show you this one. You can do 3 rows of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so 27. So if you only find the smaller box and not the Mother's Day box, this is just in the party section, you can do the 3 rows of 9 for 27, and that will fit perfect on a smaller box. Now with this one, I am just gonna go ahead and paint it black. Right, I haven't put the Mod Podge on the top of the top part of the cap. Now, when you put the top on, just because it is a little bit, goes on. Now, instead of just having it sit on there like that, I'm gonna have it a little bit tilted when displayed because I'm gonna put something in. So I've decided I'm going to put some glitter just to make it really sparkly. I am gonna do the top part of the hat and the base of it. The only thing is once you put the glitter on, because the little particles on here, you won't be able to shut it. So that's kind of up to you how you want to, if you don't want to keep it shut just to seal it when you put something in there for a gift, or if you want to keep it open. But I am just going to do the glitter on the outside, the top part of the cap, and the bottom base. So I did start on the base with the glitter, but I totally forgot to say to glue the top of the hat on center, right on top of the cap. Glue that on good. I would stick something heavy just to make sure that this gets properly glued to the bottom. I am just going to use Wellbond. I am not going to use hot glue, and let that dry. Once that's dry, I will go over around here and the top part with glitter. So now that I have it done, you can see that it's done all around the side. And I'm going to add, I'm going to do the same thing similar with, I had another tassel, the one I got at Fabricland. I am going to have to cut it shorter here, probably to about there to fit. And I'm just going to make sure that it's centered. And I am just going to use one of the gems, the glass vase filler, and do the exact same thing that I did on the first build. Now on the box, this is going to be for someone else. DT does have these stickers. I don't know. I'm going to keep this something else for my son. Excuse me. But I am just going to go ahead, as I said, this one's for someone else. And I'm just going to use the same stickers and put Grad 2024 right on the side of the box. Now you can do different messages. You can change out the colors. You can even do the hat, instead of doing the black, you can do it a different color if you want to do pink or blue. It's really up to you. Once I get those on and get that glued on, we're going to move to the inside of the box. All right, now that we have that on, I'm just going to put a floral form in here, and I just have some roses, and I'm going to put a bunch of roses inside all the way around, and just put the hat on a tilt, right sitting right on them. Now, if you don't want to do that, say you want to put some chocolates, or you want to just put some things, maybe you want to put some money, stuff like that, you could take one of those pillowcases from DT. They have a satin lining, and you could cut a corner out, and you could just hot glue around the edges so you have a satin lining. I did that with another graduation DIY I did a couple of years ago. It's on my channel if you want to look through the videos. You could do that as well. I'm just going to do it plain and simple. Add the floral form, add the roses in, and add the top right, sitting right on top. Now I fit in 7 roses, just like that. This one side. And then you're going to tip the hat, the point facing forward. You can do it this way. I just kind of like how it has a look this way, and you kind of tilt it up. I will show you at the end of this video, all 3 of them upright. You don't even have to glue it on. It just sits there. We are going to move on to the next build. Okay, for the third one, I want to make it look like a scroll. I got the bigger can of Pringles. I saw someone do it with a paper towel roll, and then they just stuck some candy in there and stuff like that. And I thought it was pretty sweet, and I just put a red bow on it, and I thought it was pretty cool. But I want to do one upright so it's actually sitting and it was not on the side. So I'm going to start with this one. Just make sure you clean it out really good. You can stick different things in it. Maybe you want some money, candy, whatever for your receiver. And I'm just going to start off with painting this white. All right, I did 4 coats just to make sure that you don't see through. You can also use spray paint if you don't want to paint. I just used the DT white paint. Now, I know paper is not like glittery or anything like that, but I want to conceal the lines a little bit more from it going around, and just give it a little sparkle. It is graduation. So I am going to just use some white That's an iridescent kind of glitter. And I'm just going to put some on with the gloss Mod Podge. All right, while the Mod Podge is drying on with the glitter on the can, we are going to make the cap top. We're going to start off, and we're only going to use 14 blocks for this one. So we're going to start off with 6 blocks like this. You're just going to stack them right on each other and glue them as you go. So we got 6 here. And you're going to do another 6. As you can see, I haven't glued them together yet. Another 6. And then you're going to do 2. 1 right here. And if you ever notice this with your blocks, I'm just going to swap this out just because they are sometimes a little bit uneven. There we go. I'm going to swap this one out too. I don't like that one. And you're going to have this shape right here. So you're just going to glue this together. Once it's glued, I actually, on this one, I'm just going to fill in the little holes with some spackle and then paint it black. Okay, so now that I have the paint done on here, pick whatever better side. Like I said, I was going to use the spackle just to make it more smooth, so I'm going to keep this for the top of the cap. So I'm going to flip it over. You're going to need a piece of cardboard just like this. Now I did one already. It's a little bit thinner than this, and this is a 1-inch thickness. I just glued it with Wellbond, and I just use these little clips from Dollar Tree when you're gluing it. You want to make sure when you do your circle that it's bigger than the lid of the container, that it fits in there, that you're able just to go over it like that. It doesn't have to be the exact same size. A little bit bigger than the lid will be perfect. And then I'm going to take some glue and I'm just going to paint some, actually I'm just going to use Mod Podge. I'm just going to paint around here and I'm just going to set it straight. I wouldn't use hot glue just because we are going to do something to it once we have it glued on to the top of the cap. Well, it's almost dry. You can see it's just a little bit wet still with the Wellbond. I just went inside with the paintbrush. I went in and put extra in there. Plus I did a little bit of Mod Podge. Turned out pretty good. So you gotta go in whatever way we're gonna place it on top. So in order to hide the paper, now you can use foam too if you have the foam. I did have black foam, but the only thing is it didn't reach big enough on there. Just make sure it's nice and round so it's gonna fit nice on top. I'm not gonna do the inside with glitter, but I am gonna do all around the side, underneath, and the top. All right, so I want to bounce back before we continue to the one here with the roses. Now we did put the Grad 2024 on there. Finally, after work today, I did stop by at Dollar Tree and they had these headbands. They did not have the keychains that I spoke about earlier that you could use for the tassel. They didn't have that. They had a couple different ones. They also have this one as well if you wanted to maybe put 2 stars on the front or have a few of the stars around. I did buy 2, but once I got home, I was just playing around and I just thought this would look, I think, a lot nicer on the front of this build anyways. So I'm just going to cut it around like that. I'm just going to pull those stickers off, the little letters on it, and put the Grad on the front of the rose box. Right, now that this is done, and as you can see, it's nice and solid, even though it's construction paper, cardboard. And the reason I say to make sure it's open a little bit bigger, because then you can take your container and it just sits right on top. With the plastic piece, if you do want to keep it, you can just seal it on the end. I did end up painting and putting some glitter on the bottom, but you can actually just put that right on the bottom if you want. Now, like I said, the Dollar Tree had the tassel keychains. Obviously, I don't know, I haven't seen them, but I don't know if they'll be long enough. I did get this one from Amazon, and it's super long, and I just think it was very fitting for the length of the Pringles can that putting the cap on would actually have a nice length to it. I'm going to do the exact same as I did the other two and use a glass vase filler and put that on top and glue that on. I'm going to have to cut the string a little bit shorter because I've already measured it. Now on the can, if you just want to leave it white, you can do that. Dollar Tree has just this red ribbon. It was probably about the thickness that I think would be good for that. And I'm just going to put it in the center. I'm probably just going to move it down a bit. I'm going to put the hat on, and from where the black lip hangs over, I'm going to put it exactly in the middle. I'm just going to hot glue that on. I did a bow already. I haven't made the little thing, but I think a nice little red bow will add a little bit something to it. So I wanted to do something at the front of the scroll. So I had these letters. I believe they're from Dollar Tree, or sorry, Dollarama. You can use any letters. You can put something on there. You don't have to. I already painted them, and then I used Mod Podge and black glitter. And I'm just going to put it right down the front, G-R-A-D. I'm just going to hot glue those on. Now, working with glitter, as you all know, you end up wearing it for a week. I like to use the Mod Podge, and I got this at, you can get it at Walmart, and it's just a spray, super high shine. It doesn't turn yellow or anything like some clear acrylic sprays. You can check that out if you like, don't like always having the glitter on. You have to do a couple coats. So I am going to glue these on, and then I'm going to show you, turn the camera around and show you all 3 builds finished. All right, guys, so here it is all done. I think they turned out really neat. For the top on the cap here, when I did the placement, I did it facing left to right, not with the point facing forward, only because when I hung the part off the corner, it was touching the can. So I thought the placement of the hat would be just straight across. Make sure if you do the straight across just like this with the placement of the cap, because the other way is a little bit shorter. So make sure you have it turned left to right, which is the longer portion from left to right. And the grad, I just added a little, it just made it stick out a little bit more than being plain white. I do like the class of 2024 on here. It turned out pretty well. I would just hot glue little pieces as you go from all the way across, work your way down, because your glue will dry faster and you don't want it to seep out on the sides. Which one do you like best? I'm partial to all of them. I like them all for different reasons. You know, if you ever need any help, you're more than welcome to message me, private message me on my Crafty Shopper page. I'm more of a visual person, so please send me a picture if you're stuck with anything. I have no problems helping anybody out. I appreciate all you guys watching my videos. Please give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments which one you're gonna make. Happy crafting, and see you soon. Bye.